like the bike? Yes, I do actually love the bike. It's got a very, very good seating position. Surprising, given that when you look at it, and even when you stand next to it, it looks a lot lower down than it feels. It doesn't feel as low down as it looks. I mean, it looks low down, but it doesn't feel low down, if that makes any sense. I'm 6 foot, and I like this riding position. It feels just right for me. I really like it. So it's a good riding position. The bike accelerates really quickly when you want it to, so I've got no issues now going to the front of the queue of traffic and just accelerating away, because I know that I'm not going to hold them up. So if I want to do some filtering, I can pop in front of the queue of traffic and just zip away, no problem whatsoever, because I know I'm not going to hold them up. Which is great. I like doing that when it's dry. I don't do it in the wet, because the simple reason I don't trust these knobbly nylon tyres. I've said that before, but change the knobbly nylon tyres if you're going to do a lot of riding in the rain. That's all I'll say. But aside from that, this bike is brilliant. I love this bike. It's a good, fun bike. It's very affordable as well, actually. It gets surprisingly good miles to the gallon. It definitely does at least 100 miles to the gallon. The manufacturer's claimed miles per gallon figure is 100 miles per gallon. And it is definitely getting at least 100 miles to the gallon. And you're talking, you know, here about me. I do a lot of stop-start riding. I always warm the bike up before I set off anywhere, so I'm always like leaving it idling for a few minutes to warm up, and while I'm setting up the camera, things like that. And of course in traffic, so, and a lot of stop-start traffic, and even then it's still getting 100 miles to the gallon. I'd say it's getting a bit more, but it is definitely getting 100 miles to the gallon. So very good fuel consumption figures. 100 miles to the gallon is pretty good. There are bikes out there that do more, but 100 miles to the gallon is pretty damn good. It's got a reserve on this one. I don't know if the Euro 4 ones do or not, but this one does. Excuse me while I try to edit out any hiccups or burps. It's a lovely bike to ride. I don't like it in the rain simply because of the tyres. It's not the bike. The bike is lovely. And at the moment, like I said, the brakes are a bit faded because, well, they feel faded because of the road gram. You can see what the road's like now, and I've been riding in weather like this every day, almost every day it's been like this, a couple of dry days, but most of the time I've been riding. So I can definitely tell you what the bike is like in weather like this. And it's good, it's a good bike. So it's a lovely bike, to be honest. The bike is lovely. I've said the seating position is really good. I like the seating position. It's just right for me, and I'm 6 foot, it's just right. Change the knobbly nylon tyres for rubber road tyres, because, you know, that's what I'm waiting for. You know, rubber road tyres to be ordered. I've ordered them in, but I'm waiting for them to be delivered. So change the rubber road tyres, but other than that, this bike is lovely. The seating position's good, it accelerates well. Top speed, you can go over 60. I'm 17.5 stone, and I have had over 60 on this. But honestly, I cruise at 50 to 55 most of the times. Not in the wet. It tends to be a little bit slower in the wet, to be honest, when it's like this. But I have, you know, I have had it over 60 when I needed to overtake something. But you will be thrashing it if you're a 17.5 stone man like me. That being said, it will hold 50, 55 with some of my weight on it all day, no issues whatsoever. It's really good, and it's very fuel efficient. It looks fantastic. It looks lovely. I really do like the way it looks, and I like the way it goes. It's a lovely bike. Fuel efficient, looks good, goes good, accelerates well. Not the fastest bike in the world, but you don't buy a bike that looks like this expecting it to go very fast. It will handle 50, 55, and you can go faster than that if you like it. I mean, you can go faster than that. But it's not like, you're not going to be beating a CBF or a CBR or something. You don't get this if you're expecting it to be super quick. So slow down a little bit because, as I said already, my brakes feel faded because I've got road dirt on them. I wish there was a way to clean, and maybe there is, a way to clean the brake pads on a bike without having to take the brakes off, because otherwise it means I've got to go to a mechanic to get that done, and I don't want to keep going to a mechanic just to get the brakes done, just to get them clean. But in weather like this, you do have to get them clean, so I've had them clean. But anyway, back to the bike. The bike is lovely. I love the bike. The only issue I've had with this bike was that the bike, you know, and to be fair, this can happen to a Japanese bike or a Chinese bike. Lots of water got into the speedometer. Water ingress is the proper term. and the speedo basically just stopped working as a speedo. So Hanway was great about it. They had it replaced under warranty, even though I'm not the original owner, because the warranty is still valid. They had it fixed for me, they had it replaced for me, so I've got brand new speedo on it. And as you can see, right now it's working, but it's probably going to go funny again in a little while, and it certainly was earlier on. I will if it doesn't while I'm talking, I will have to put some footage up of it going funny, because it's the reason I've got my phone used as a speedometer is because within 40 miles the speedo was going funny. Now it was only going, the new speedo was going funny, and it was only going funny when I accelerated. So for me it wasn't an issue, because I knew at some point I'd be going, hopefully this week, back to the guys at Newport that fitted it in for me, and I rang them up and said, look, it's going funny already, but it's when I'm at a steady speed, it's showing the speed properly, like it is right this second, it's showing the speed properly, can you just have a look at it, check there's not a loose wire or anything like that? And they said, yeah, no problem, but it's been working fine. So that was fine until it got to 346 miles, and after 346 miles of use, the speedo this morning just went ballistic. It was dry, it wasn't raining, it was dry, and it just went ballistic. I was doing 40 miles an hour in a 40 mile an hour zone. All of a sudden it started saying I was doing 0 miles an hour. Then it said I was doing 177, and just random numbers kept popping up. Right now, this is the longest it's worked for, ironically in the rain. So I don't know why that is, but right now it seems to be working properly. But I'll put some footage up if it doesn't go funny, and then you'll see what I mean. This is why I'm using the Speedo app on my phone. Yeah, it just went nuts, and it wasn't when I was accelerating. I was at a steady speed, and it just suddenly started. At one point, it was a good 4 or 5 minutes. It was showing 0, and then 177, and then 50, and then so I couldn't use it as a Speedo. So I had to use my speedometer app on the phone. So I don't know what the issue is with the speedometer. I think, because there doesn't seem to be any water inside this speedometer, so I think what's probably happened, I'll have to ask the guys at Newport that fitted the new speedometer on. I think what might have happened is when the speedometer, the original speedometer that this replaced, that black one replaced, when that got water ingress, it was very, very full of water. Perhaps the water got into the electrics that connect the speedometer to the wheel. That could be what it is. It could be. I mean, I'm assuming that's what it is. That's the only thing I can think of, because that's the only bit, as far as I know, that wasn't changed. So the speedo was changed, but not that particular bit, because as far as they knew, there wasn't any reason to. I'm assuming that could be the issue. I find it a bit awkward to believe that the speedo would be going that funny, just boom, suddenly like that. I can only imagine that both parts of the speedo and the harness itself, you know, had issues with water, and because it was obviously the speedo that had all the water inside it, you know, I'm going to slow down a little bit and let this guy in. Because the water was obviously inside the speedo, then me, the guys at Newport that did it, at the Motorcycle Bunker, everyone, including Hanway, I would assume, and rightly so, looked at it and went like, well, obviously there's water in the speedo, you can see it is. I mean, so much water underneath the face of the speedo that if the bike turned one way or the other, the water would go like a spirit level and go that way. So yeah, there was clearly water ingress. So they changed that, they put a new speedo on, and props to Hanway. I was surprised how quickly they sorted it as well. They were brilliant. I don't know why the new speedo is playing up, I really don't. Right now it's working perfectly right now. All the way into Cardiff in dry weather, it was playing up. Right now I haven't noticed it going funny at all, so while I'm talking, I will have to put footage up of it going funny just to prove that it was indeed going funny. Because right now, it's not going funny. Anyway, don't let the fact that I've had problems with the speedometer put you off, because the bike is lovely and Hanway do honour the warranty. Even if you're not the original owner, if you buy one of these second hand, but it's still covered by the warranty transfers between owners, so you can still get the work done by warranty, under warranty, if it's something that's covered by the warranty, like the speedometer. So I'm not too annoyed about the speedometer, because at the end of the day, I know Hanway have been great, and I know that they'll figure out what the problem is and they'll solve it. They've been great. Them and the guys at the motorcycle bunker in Newport that Hanway got to do the work for me. Absolutely brilliant. Can't fault any of them. Brilliant. So aside from the speedometer, I haven't had any issues with this bike. I don't like the tyres, but that's just personal preference, because maybe you don't have to drive like a wuss in the rain on these tyres. But I do, because I feel, to me, they feel twitchy in the wet, and they definitely have less grip in the wet. So me, I drive, it's starting to go a little bit funny, and then I went back again. To me, I just drive extra cautiously. I go round roundabouts so slowly and things like that in the wet. That's just me, you know. You can ride, like I said, I've done over 3,000 miles in mainly weather like this. So you can do it, you just have to be cautious. That's why I leave a big gap, by the way, so that I can keep an eye on the vehicles in front and then the vehicles in front of them and try and anticipate, because, like I said, my brakes feel faded. Again, that's not a fault of the bike at all. Don't think that's a fault of the bike. It's road crap getting on the brakes. The brakes are great brakes. They're lovely brakes, as good as any other bike's brakes. That are certainly as good as any bike I've had. But obviously in the wet, especially more noticeable in the wet, there's a lot of road dirt on them. And it's only been a week since I had them cleaned. So I've got to find a way to clean the brake discs without having them to off. But that's just the way it is, you know. I do a lot of riding with this, and at the moment all I can do is, when it's dry, you know, when the bike's dried up, I clean off, you know, with a kitchen towel, I clean off the gunk, which you can't see it, but it's there, and you see it as soon as you wipe a towel over, kitchen towel over the discs. You see there's lots of black gunk on it, and of course, you know, that's getting onto the discs as well. So I can wipe it off the discs, but you can't do that while you're riding along, obviously. And so that goes, what you can't get out, you know, you can't get it while you're riding along, so obviously it gets on the brakes, the brake pads. But that's obviously, I'm completely digressing. The bike is lovely, it really is lovely, and Hanway on their warranties, so don't be afraid to get one. I haven't heard, I've done Googling and that, and I haven't heard of anyone else having this issue, so maybe I just got unlucky as regards to Speedo, but I certainly got lucky regarding the warranty, because Hanway do honour the warranty, so I'm sure they'll sort it out. But as far as the bike goes, it is a really fun bike to ride. No issues apart from the Speedo, mechanically. There was, when I bought it, there was a couple of small spots of rust. There was a lot of rust on the bottom of the disc, not the disc itself, but the bottom of it, where it's bolted off. I don't know why, because it was kept garage, but it hasn't got any worse at all since I got it. And the spots of rust that were on it, and they were so small I couldn't even notice them until after I brought the bike and I got it home, and then one day, a couple of days later I think it was, I actually noticed that, I never noticed those before. They haven't got any worse at all. They're so minute you can barely see them. Unless you're looking for them, you won't see them. They haven't got any worse at all. I keep this bike covered up. There's a couple of little holes in the cover, so a little bit of water can get in. But, you know, like a tiny bit of water. But it's kept covered up. And I clean the bike once a week. I lubricate the cables. And it hasn't rusted away. It hasn't even got any worse rust at all. So, first of all, don't believe the rubbish some people will tell you that Chinese bikes will rust away in the rain. I mean, I've done most of my riding in weather like this. I'm not exaggerating, I'm really genuinely being honest here. Most of my riding has been in weather like this. But this bike's done brilliantly. Hasn't got any more rust on it, anything like that. Hasn't rusted away, hasn't got lots of rust on it, nothing like that. It's been really, really good. Now I'm going to drive like a wuss again because, like I said, I'm being extra cautious. And, you know, I'm going to go over here, even if it turns round, I bet it shouldn't do. I'm just being extra cautious. So, there you go. The bike is lovely. It really is lovely. It hasn't rusted away or anything, despite the fact that I've ridden in lots and lots of weather like this. I'm pulling the clutch in because there's normally a queue of traffic around here. And that way, there you go. I don't have to brake sharply. Like I said, you know, unfortunately, I have to brake so gently in the wet. It's a lovely bike. I keep saying this, and it's probably going to sound like I'm being paid or something to say it, but it is a lovely bike. It looks as good as it goes. It goes as well as it looks. It's a lovely bike. To be honest, I would say this would make a great, with rubber road tyres, which is what I'm waiting for it to get put on. With rubber road tyres, I reckon this would be a fantastic commuter. I really do. Don't regret buying this bike at all. It's lovely. I mean, I've had the issue with the speedometer, and that can happen to any bike, you know, Chinese, Japanese, whatever. But bike-wise, I genuinely love this bike. I really do. I think it looks great. It goes great. I'm well happy with it. I just love the bike. It just looks good. It goes good. It's got a lovely, comfortable seating position, just right for my height, which is 6 foot. It's lovely. I'm going to clean my visor for a minute. It doesn't matter because it's got water on the inside anyway. It's a really, really nice bike. It makes a lovely commuter. The knobbly nylon tyres, just change those for rubber road tyres. Everything else, it makes a lovely, lovely commuter. I mean, come on, 100 miles to the gallon, and yet it looks this good. It really does. It looks good. It looks lovely. It doesn't look like a commuting bike. It looks like a Scrambler tracker thing, whatever you want to call them. It looks lovely. It looks good, and yet it works great as a commuter, day in, day out. Lovely bike. Starts on the button every time. I've only ever, and we're talking about very, very wet weather, right? And very, very cold weather. I've only had to use the choke twice, and even then, literally, I'm not even exaggerating, just for the first push of the button, and then straight after I've turned the choke off and just held the throttle open for a couple of seconds, and it sidled lovely without choke. It's a really good bike. Like, genuinely, it's one of those bikes that you'll either love it or loathe it. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's lovely. This car's going to come up the side of me, I know. Go on then, mate. I know you were coming up the side of me anyway. That's why I held back a bit, because I could see him doing that. It's just so much fun. I could spend half the video saying, oh yeah, it's a lovely bike, it's a lovely bike, it's a lovely bike. That's not going to help anyone, is it? So I'm pointing out the issues I've had with it, and the only issues I've had, the only actual, you know, mechanical issue has been that speedometer, and that was replaced by Hanway under warranty. Hopefully, if I've remembered, I will put some footage up, or will have put some footage up, so you can see it going funny even in the dry earlier on. Aside from that, no issues whatsoever. But the the nylon knobbly road tyres, I would definitely change those for rubber road tyres instead of knobbly nylon tyres. That's just personal preference. Otherwise, you'll have to drive like a wuss in the wet like me. But yeah, aside from that, excuse me while I sniffle. Sorry about this. I have to remember to edit those out. It's a really lovely bike. It's really, and in the dry, when, you know, even on the knobbly tyres, in the dry, when you're not having to be extra cautious, it is fantastic. It accelerates well. It's so much fun to ride. It really is. Put it this way, alright, I've had an issue with the speedo, but I really don't regret buying this bike. It was, well, basically, I was going to say it's a steal, or it was a steal, but that sounds horrible. But I mean it in a good way. It was a really good price, and this bike is really, really good. I keep saying that, but it is really, really good. It's so much fun. It's one of those bikes that is fun. It looks good, it goes good, it accelerates well. Like I said, not the fastest bike in the world, but you don't buy it to be a fast bike. You buy it because it looks good and because you want to do at least 50 miles an hour on it, which it will do. This will, like I said, this will go to, slowing down a little bit there because I don't know how quickly that guy's going to accelerate. This will go to 60 plus with me on it, and I'm a big chap, so it'll do that, no problem, especially if you're lighter. But I can only say for definite that it will, speaking from experience, it will hold 50, 55 all day if you want it to. No issues whatsoever. Even with a big chap like me on it going up a hill, and I'm talking about some steep hills here in the valleys, it will go up them, no issues at all. You'll be able to do, you know, because obviously all the hills that go up are in 30 mile an hour speed limits, and it will go up the steep hills 30 mile an hour, no problem at all, and hold it, no problem at all. It probably got there a lot quicker, to be honest, but like I said, I follow the speed limits, and it's just a lovely bike. I keep saying it. If you get a chance to get one of these, don't be put off by the fact that it's Chinese, because this hasn't got any extra rust on it or anything like that. In fact, like I said, I don't know where that rust came from, to be honest, but whatever it was, it's not rusted, it's not, you know, it's just brilliant. Please don't put that in front of me. Oh, you're going to, oh, and you're going to as well, are you, sir? Please don't, please don't, please don't. Oh, thank you for waiting. Yes, you did, thank you. I always get nervous because I know of people that have been killed by cars doing that. A bit further down actually as well, where just past Forth, where where we will be going. Anyway, never mind. I'm digressing. What can I say about this bike? That to be honest, I love the bike. I really do genuinely love the bike. I keep saying that, but I just want to reiterate. Okay, I really want to point this out. This bike is fun. It is good fun. It's enjoyable. It looks good. It goes good. It's fun. And it is easily worth the money that you pay for it brand new, or if you get it second hand like I did, second hand. I think new they're 2,299, something like 2,000 something, 2,100, 2,000 and something, like a couple of £100 on top, I think, 2,000 and something. And if you look in the right place, you can buy these brand new for 1,999 occasionally, but usually they're around £2,000. They really, for that money, they are definitely well worth it. You could probably get away with selling this brand new for like 2,500 easily, and people would still say that it's a good bargain. It's a lovely bike. Are you going to go across? No, you're not. I did say I was being extra cautious. It is brilliant. It's really good fun. You just have to ride extra cautiously in the wet because of the tyres, but you can change the tyres. The bike itself is so much fun. It really is. When this is dry and I'm not worrying about like, ooh, it's where I don't want to have the bike being twitchy now. When this is dry, it's even more fun. It's so much fun. I keep saying that word, but it is important to know. It is fun. But it makes a great commuter as well. That's what I use it for, commuting. It looks good, but it's a commuter bike at the same time. It's hard to explain. It doesn't look like a commuter bike. It looks lovely. But you can use it as a commuter. It's reliable, dependable, it goes well. It's just so much fun. It looks so good. The riding position's comfortable. So honestly, if you get a chance to get one of these, if you like it, don't be put off by the fact that I've had issues with the Speedometer. That can happen on any bike. In fact, if anything, you should be chuffed that I've had an issue. You know, you should be pleased I've had an issue with the Speedometer, because it's given me a chance to flip in, you know, it's given me a chance to find out that Hanway honour their warranties, and that means that if you get one, they'll honour it with you as well. So if anything, you know, it's a good thing that I had an issue with the Speedometer, because it's shown me that Hanway honour their warranties, and I've been able to say to you guys, look, and girls, look, they honour their warranties, and they do. And they didn't even like, didn't try and wiggle out of it and say, have you used this bike? Obviously I've just used it like a normal bike. I mean, they didn't turn around and say anything like, oh, we're thinking about not doing this, or what have you ridden, or whatever. And they didn't grumble about it. They just said, all right, we can see there's water ingress, we've seen how many miles are on the clock, no problem at all, we'll change it over. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. I'm very, very, very chuffed that they did that. They replaced it under warranty. I don't know why I've got an issue with it now, and the whole way here, every time I've looked at it, it's been working fine. And yet ironically, in the dry, it wasn't working fine early on, which is why I'll have to put some footage over the top of it to show that it wasn't working. But right now it's working. I don't understand that, but there you go. I shall carry on in a moment with the review. Get around the roundabout. Okay. I'm going to go around the roundabout like a little worse. Sorry, but I did say I go around the roundabout like a worse, because that's just me personally. I just drive very slow around the roundabout in the wet. Just personal preference. I'm trying to avoid any problems, you know. That is just me. You probably can get away with driving around there a lot more bravely, but in the wet, on the knobbly Malin tyres, I daren't be as brave as I would normally, and you know, that's why I said I'm waiting for the road tyres to be finished, so that's great. Anyway, yeah, I love the speedo on this bike when it's working. It tells you how much fuel you've got, it tells you how many revs you're doing, it tells you the amount of miles you've done since you reset the odometer, the trip meter I should say, and the battery level as well. All of which is brilliant, all on that little dial which is partly obscured there, sorry about that. Brilliant, and right now it's working pretty damn good. I don't know why it wasn't earlier on, right now it's working fine. And there's a car pulling up through there, isn't there? No, I thought I saw a car headlight on there. Oh, there you go, I'm seeing things. It's the speedo design itself, I really like that. The only thing I would say it's missing from it is the gear counter. But you get used to not having a gear counter pretty quick, even when you come from a bike like I had before that does have a gear counter on it, you get used to it pretty damn quick. To be honest, it's not like something I would say they have to add to it or something. The only things, like I said, if I had any recommendations for this bike at all, my only recommendations would be put rubber tyres on, even rubber knobblies, just put rubber tyres on them. But thankfully these are Kingstone knobbly nylon tyres, and Kingstone tyres, even with the nylon, are pretty good. I've had a few Kingstone tyres, and they've always been good, so they are a good choice of tyres. I don't know if they're a well-known brand or anything, but they are when it comes to nylon tyres, Kingstone, through experience, have been the best ones, you know. They're the only nylon tyres I would have if I couldn't get rubber road tyres. If I couldn't get rubber tyres and I had to have nylon tyres, the only nylon tyres I would have are Kingstone, so thankfully that's what's on the bike. They are the best of the nylon tyres, and lots of bikes now are using nylon tyres, so it's not like a diss at Hanway or anything, because loads of bikes, I bet the Bullet Hero, which is a gorgeous bike as well, I bet that's using rubber, I bet that's using nylon tyres as well. But the bike itself is just so much fun, it's so lovely. If you get a bike, not this one, because this is my bike, and no, I'm not going to swear, no mother bleeper is getting my bike off me. I do genuinely love this bike, I'm not even lying, I genuinely love this bike. But if you get a chance to get one of these bikes, if you like the way it looks and you've got a chance to get one, second hand or new, go for it, it's really good fun. I would recommend getting one with some of the warranty left on it though, just in case, like me, you have an issue with anything, like I've had an issue with the Speedometer, but that's been replaced under warranty. It's a really good bike. I've said it so many times, I'm not getting paid by Hanway. Hanway have no idea that I'm saying how good their bikes are, but this bike is really good. I love the fact that they were so quick to honour the warranty. They didn't and ah about it or anything. They sorted the work out really quickly, and they got it done for me really quick. Very pleased with that. Fantastic customer service, and the bike's lovely. Really is lovely. Like I said, the only thing I'd change would be put different tyres on it. And anyone can have a problem with the speedometer, so don't let the fact that I'm just being honest, because I don't want people to think everything's been perfect. Okay, that's the only reason I'm saying. I could lie and say the speedo's fine, and you'd never know that I had an issue with the speedo. I could lie and say, yeah, it's been fine, no issues whatsoever. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? There were tiny spots of rust on it when I got it. I'll try not to sneeze now. There were tiny spots of rust on it when I got it. I don't know why, but there were. They haven't got any worse at all, and like I said, I just clean it once a week and lube the cables up. So it doesn't rust away, despite what people might tell you about Chinese bikes. It doesn't rust at all, any more or less than any other bike. Just keep it clean. That's it. Keep it clean. It's going to be just as good as any other motorbike. So, did you get these horror tales about, you know, Chinese bikes like rusting and that? It's rubbish. But, I mean, it's not rubbish, the older ones did, but this one, absolutely brilliant. It doesn't rust away like people say. I've done almost all my riding, literally, bar a few days of it so far, in weather like this. Okay? Trust me, if it was going to rust, it would have rusted already. It would have started rusting already, and it hasn't. And trust me, in weather like this, it's a very good bloody test of whether it's going to rust, and it's not. Okay, so don't worry about it. It's not going to happen, okay? The bike's lovely. It starts first time on the button every time. I'm not even exaggerating with that either. Every time. First time on the button every time. And the previous owner told me that. And I thought, yeah, first time on the button every time. And then they went to start the bike up. Well, her husband did, because he was showing me around it. And he went to start the bike up when I brought it, and it wouldn't start. And the only reason it wouldn't start was because he'd forgotten that the kill switch was on. And as soon as he switched the kill switch off, you know, it started first time as well. It really does start first time every time. It's a lovely bike. And I just wanted to be honest and give you an updated review and say, yeah, I had an issue with the speedometer. Hanway fixed it, no issues whatsoever. They were great, and the bike's lovely. The bike is lovely. Change the tyres if you're going to do a lot of riding in the wet, unless you don't mind being extra cautious all the time in the wet. But don't be put off of getting one, even second hand. It's not going to rust away. Just keep it clean. It's not going to rust away. It's a great bike. That's all I can say, really. It is a great bike. And I will let you know any updates on the Speedo issues. For the moment, it's working perfect again. But I will let you know what happens. I will have a word. It's probably not going to get sorted out for a week or so anyway, because it's going to be probably a week before I get there anyway, but, you know, to Newport to get the tyres done. But yeah, I'll let you know. Anyway, don't be put off of these. They're great. Very annoyed at the Speedo, because now I'm having to use my blooming phone as a speedometer app, which is annoying because it wastes the battery then. And look, right now that I put the phone in, it's behaving itself again. That is typical. I put the phone on because it wasn't behaving itself and I couldn't use it as a speedo. Now it's behaving again perfectly. Just the occasional glitch. Oh no, there you go, 85 miles an hour now, not. There you go, it is misbehaving again. And 43, there you go, and it's settled down to 20. But the point is, it's going like that all the time. Even when it's doing a steady speed, it's doing that now. It's really annoying. I love this bike, okay? This bike is lovely. And I don't want you to think that this is in any way putting me off on Hanway bikes, okay? Because I can understand you could just get bad luck with regard bike parts, okay? You can get water ingress, which is what happened to the previous Speedo, look, 0 miles an hour then. You can get water ingress on any bike Speedo, okay? So I can't blame them for that. I can't blame Hanway for anything, it's not their fault. Everything appeared to work and everything was working and it just stopped working. So, I mean, as far as the Speedo goes. But when you put a brand new Speedo on, you expect it to work, and within an hour and a half, that's like within 40 miles, because obviously, you know, I stopped off and did some stuff on that, and within an hour and a half, it was just going nuts again. But it was only doing it while I was accelerating, so that was fine. And I mentioned it to the guys that put the Speedo on, and they said when I come in to get the tyres done, you know, just have a word with them, they'll have a look at it, check if there's any loose wires. But now it's going nuts again. And you can see, when I accelerate, most of the time it will go nuts. At the moment it's being steady, but every now and again it's just going to go north. There you go, it's going nuts again.